AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun. You don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your...
AOC recently said, so many people in this country hate women. It felt like the kind of comment that instantly kills the vibe at a party. Even the guy who shows up with a guitar would probably roll his eyes. She says, if you hate women, you don't love America. Fair enough. But then she turns around and criticizes all the things Americans have always loved about the country. That contradiction is one of the reasons...
What do you think of the fact that the people who are getting the big crowds right now are AOC and Bernie Sanders? They're going around the country. Thank you, there's that same guy. I call him the always wrong guy. Okay, but I feel like, big crowds, again, the shiny object that the Democrats chase all. It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. I think it's because I think Bernie showed up at Coachella. That must have been fun for the fans. It's who shows up on Election Day. And I just don't see that's the ticket. I mean, Cory Booker, I know you've worked with him. I like Cory a lot from my home state of New Jersey. Made a speech for 25 hours. Again, just whacking each other off. This is just not what's going to get the job done.
People like Bill Maher are sounding the alarm. Again, This isn't new for Maher. He did the same thing in 2024 when the Democrats pushed Kamala Harris. That didn't go well. Now, AOC's being floated as a possible 2028 candidate, and Maher is seeing the same warning signs all over again. The problem isn't just the crowds she draws. Sure, AOC and Bernie can pack a room, but big crowds at music festivals or protests don't always mean big turnout on Election Day. Maher's point is simple. Excitement on social media or at rallies isn't the same as winning a national vote. Since her name started getting tossed around for 2028, things have gone downhill fast and, not because of attacks from the right, AOC has been making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Her interviews have been confusing. Her takes on the economy are all over the place. One minute she wants to spend more, the next she's attacking the system she's part of. It's starting to look like she's more interested in attention than leadership. Instead of gaining support, she's losing it. People are asking, is she actually ready for this or just chasing the spotlight? One moment she says unemployment is low because everyone's working 2 jobs and can't afford to feed their kids. Another time she says capitalism won't always exist. But the facts don't back that up. Capitalism, for all its flaws.
Employment is low because everyone has 2 jobs. Unemployment is low because people are working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and can barely feed their kids.
Everybody's an idiot except for me.
Capitalism has not always existed in the world, and it will not always exist in the world. When this country
It is the system that, unlike all the others, has lifted more people out of poverty over the course of human history than any other system.
Well, so I think that those things that you talk about, that you discuss, are part of the course of human evolution.
Has done more to lift people out of poverty than any other system in history. Then when asked about that, AOC's response was vague. She talks about human evolution and changing systems, but doesn't offer anything concrete. And that's the problem. People want answers. They want plans. She's giving speeches that sound more like teenage rants than serious political leadership. That's why Bill Maher is frustrated. He's not just being critical to stir things up. He's warning that the Democrats are walking into another disaster. If AOC is the best they've got for 2028, they're in trouble. She's mixing emotion with performance, and it shows. Loud isn't the same as strong. Going viral isn't the same as leading. And the more she talks, the more people start to doubt she's ready for any of it. AOC recently claimed that many people in America hate women. That kind of comment doesn't bring people together. It shuts the room down. It's like someone walking into a fun party and killing the vibe. This isn't just about one comment. AOC is being talked about as a possible presidential candidate in 2028. But instead of showing leadership, she's turning everything into a performance. That might get attention on social media, but it doesn't win elections. People like Bill Maher are warning the Democrats, if they put all their hope in AOC, they could be headed for disaster. He's seen this before. Back in 2024, Democrats pushed Kamala Harris hard. It didn't end well. Now, they seem ready to repeat the same mistake with someone new wearing the same old outfit. AOC was supposed to be fresh and inspiring. Instead, she's making headlines for all the wrong reasons, confusing interviews, wild policy takes, and emotional speeches that go nowhere. One day, she says people are poor because they work too much. The next, she's calling capitalism outdated, even though it's lifted.
This is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
Millions out of poverty. She's not offering real solutions. She's offering sound bites and slogans. That's not what voters want. They're tired of lectures. They want answers. And if the Democrats don't change course, 2028 won't just be a tough election, it'll be a full-blown embarrassment. Support is already slipping fast. Young voters, once excited, are now disappointed. Many Democrats under 30 say they're not proud to be American. Over half say they're actually embarrassed by the country. AOC and other progressives aren't helping. Instead of finding common ground, they stay locked inside a bubble attacking anything tied to traditional values. They aren't building bridges with regular voters. They're burning them down and live streaming the fire. If anyone thinks Gavin Newsom or Tim Walz are going to save the day, think again. They come with their own problem scandals, failed policies, and more of the same look-at-me politics that's pushing voters away. Even lifelong Democrats are starting to drift. Some are looking at centrists. Others are tuning out entirely. This isn't just about candidates. It's about a mindset that feels completely out of touch. People want common sense. They want safety.
Don't really love America if you hate half the people in it. And also if you hate a lot of the things that everybody always loved about it. There's an oft-repeated moment in political debates where the moderator says to the two candidates, say something nice about your opponent.
Stability and economic relief, not constant outrage and political theater. Bill Maher's not ranting to be dramatic, he's calling out a bigger problem, a party that seems to hate half the country and everything it used to stand for. The message from AOC's wing is loud and clear. If Trump ever touched a policy, it must be evil. Doesn't matter if it helps families, workers, or the economy. If it came from the right, it's automatically bad. Maher calls this what it is: self-sabotage. It's not about defeating Trump anymore. It's about rejecting reality. There's so much talk about saving America's soul, but a lot of these same people seem to dislike the country itself. Too many liberals act like America is hopelessly broken and always has been. They forget how much has changed. Democrat Cori Bush even tweeted on the 4th of July, "This land is stolen, and black people still aren't free." Maher says he's never been super patriotic, but he does believe in—
For all the talk about fighting for the soul of America, nobody seems to like it very much. Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America's just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
And that's what he thinks the left has lost. They're not speaking to regular people anymore. They're talking past them. And unless they change that, they're setting themselves up for another crash. Just louder and more dramatic than the last one. Everyday Americans, the kind who still love their country and believe in fairness and freedom, are watching all this and shaking their heads. They're quietly walking away. You scroll through Twitter for 30 seconds and it's just non-stop rage. Young ultra-liberals are basically hosting a 24/7 anti-American roast. It's like they forgot that the same country they trash is the one that gave them the freedom to go viral. They're not just criticizing policies, they're tearing down the whole idea of America. Instead of pushing for change, they act like the country is beyond saving. Bill Maher is over it. He sees the left throwing away voters, values, and basic common sense. He's warning that this path doesn't inspire anyone, it just isolates them. In America, people have free speech, real chances at a better life, and rights most of the world can only dream of. Travel around the world and you'll see it's not even close. But online, these keyboard warriors act like trashing the country is brave. It's not, it's tone-deaf and spoiled. And leading the charge, AOC, with her dramatic Instagram videos and staged outrage. It's all political theater. Nothing real. Stats show that 72% of young black Americans are hopeful about their future here, more than white Americans the same age. But the media doesn't talk about that. Instead, it highlights performative stuff like land acknowledgments.
72% of black people under 30 are optimistic about their future in America. Way more than white people the same age. And as far as the land goes, yes, I guess we could change the name of Captain America to Captain Stolen Land. But honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgements, where they say, I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe, I say either give it back or shut up.
We stand on stolen land, Mars take. Either give it back or stop pretending. Everything AOC does feels scripted, not genuine. She markets herself as a working-class fighter from the Bronx, but it's just a carefully built character. Her real name is Sandy Ocasio. She grew up in Yorktown, Heights, a quiet, upper-middle-class town with nice schools and safe streets. Yes, she bartended, but so do millions of students. That doesn't make her a hero, it makes her normal. But she's turned that into a myth. It's not leadership, it's branding. And when real problems hit, branding doesn't solve anything. Likes and applause don't build solutions. AOC was given a platform by this country. But instead of using it to lead, she's just playing a role. Her story isn't rags to riches, it's just regular life, dressed up for social media. When she says so many people in this country hate women, it's like the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar and ruins the vibe. She talks like she's been through hell, when in reality, she's had it better than most, and people are finally seeing through it. You want to talk about women's rights? Look around the world. In America, women vote, own property, start businesses, speak freely, dress how they want, and lead entire industries. In many other countries, they're still not allowed to do any of that. Here, women break barriers every day. They're still being told to stay quiet and stay covered.
AOC says so many people in this country hate women. Oh, geez. Even the guy at the party who pulls out a guitar is like, way to ruin the fun.
She ignores that difference and acts like she's living in some kind of oppression zone. She's not. And then there's Congressman Jamal Bowman calling capitalism slavery by another name. No, it's not. Capitalism isn't perfect, but it's lifted more people out of poverty than any other system in history. These over-the-top statements aren't helping. They're turning voters off. And as more people tune out, the warning signs get louder. But the left keeps ignoring them. AOC and her crew act like women in America are constantly under attack. Just because not everyone agrees with far-left ideas. If you question extreme gender stuff, suddenly you're labeled sexist. But thinking for yourself isn't hate. It just means you've your own views. They shout misogyny in a country that's actually one of the safest and most empowering places for women. Real oppression. It's not happening in boardrooms or voting booths. It's happening in countries where women are still punished for speaking out. But that doesn't stop them from pushing the victim story like freedom.
Congressman Jamal Bowman says capitalism is slavery by another name. No, it's not. It's the thing that has given more people more prosperity and hope than any other system, flawed though it surely is.
Same goes for their hate on capitalism. It makes no sense. The ones yelling the loudest are tweeting from iPhones, sipping $6 coffees, and living in cities built by the very system they trash. Capitalism made America rich, powerful, and full of opportunities. It's why people risk everything to come here. Sure, socialism and communism might sound nice in theory, equal this, free that, but history tells a different story. Just look at Venezuela, Cuba, or the old Soviet Union. All had big promises and ended in disaster. Why? No drive, no innovation, no reward for hard work. People don't run toward socialism. They run from it. And what are they risking to get to? America, everything. They cross dangerous terrain, leave families behind, and dodge death just to get here. Why? Because here, if you work hard, you can build a life. That should say it all. Capitalism isn't perfect, but it gives people a shot. It encourages creativity, effort, and building something real. That's how progress happens, not through government handouts or top-down control. It happens through grit. Immigrants understand this better than anyone. They've lived through real oppression. They've seen what happens when freedom disappears. That's why when they come to the U.S., they're not asking for free stuff there. But
again, something like the free market is kind of synonymous with America. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privileged we are? Immigrants.
Opportunity. And if America's so awful, like AOC and her circle say, why are millions still trying to get in? Simple, because America still works. It's the place where freedom is real, where hard work can pay off, and where you can speak your mind without fear. They're not trying to move here to join woke debates or sit through lectures about carbon footprints. They're escaping real danger countries where you can't speak out, where dreams go to die. They know what freedom actually looks like, because they've lived without it. That's what makes it kind of ridiculous when some privileged politicians trash America while enjoying everything it gives them, sitting in safe offices, paid for by taxpayers, protected from the real struggles others face. Meanwhile, the ones who've really had it, tough immigrants, blue-collar workers, people with 3 jobs, they still believe in this country. They see America not as perfect, but as a place that offers a shot. That's all people really want, chance. And America still gives that dot the loudest critics. They're usually the ones who've had the easiest lives, complaining about injustice while using iPhones, sipping fancy coffee, and living behind gated walls. But those who've truly struggled, they know what's real. America matters, so forget the noise. America might not be perfect, but it's still the best hope for freedom, opportunity, and truth. If that hit home, give this a like, drop a comment, and subscribe. We've got more coming. Thanks for watching.